Hello. Hey, everybody. We're going to begin. So if I can get you to grab a seat.
Come on, Si, we're starting.
So the gentleman standing up here, his name is Simon, and I can never be pushy with anyone else named Simon. It's a small elite club, and we look after each other. Well, thank you all for coming today to an ongoing series of events we have here at NDN looking at this new political era that we are entering. I'm Simon Rosenberg, and I want to begin just by asking everybody as much as they possibly can to de-link themselves from with their BlackBerries and their Twitter accounts and anything else. You certainly feel free to do what you need to do, but just since we are webcasting this live and recording it for all of posterity on YouTube, and so if you can turn off your BlackBerries and phones and all that stuff, it would be great. And I do want to say that what we're going to do is have a conversation, and we're going to hear from each of our guests, and then we will be opening it up to you in the audience and also anyone who's watching live on the internet. It's been fun since we were recently invested money in this new space we have here that with this new digital video audio system. We've had several hundred people watch these events live on the web, and it's been growing at each of our events. So welcome for those of you who are watching outside of the office here today. We have I have 3 kids, and my 6-year-old son is an avid baseball fan, and he every morning checks the standings. And depending on where the Nationals and the Mets are, the 2 teams that we follow, he's either incredibly happy for about a half an hour or incredibly depressed. And I tried to explain to him that there are 162 games, and we got a long way to go. And part of the reason that we wanted to have this event today was to help provide the same counsel to our friends in the political world that in the age of Twitter and the sort of instant response on polls and everything else, we wanted to take a step back from the morning box score and really take a look at, in a much broader way, about what is happening in these early days of the remarkable Obama presidency. And as all of you know, NDN has been making a simple argument these last few years about the structural changes going on in America, that a new politics was being born, that the combination of a new emerging 21st century governing agenda, the way that media and technology were fundamentally changing the way that we communicate and advocate and organize our politics. And third is that the way that the country itself was going through this profound demographic change, that these 3 things taken together we're creating a new politics, a new political age. And I think what's so exciting for those of us who have been in this business for a while, maybe too long, but certainly people who've been around a little bit, is that this is a very exciting time for anyone in center-left politics. It may be a challenging time for our country, and certainly we have enormous challenges ahead and some immediate and very significant challenges this administration is attempting to tackle. But pulling back a step, this is an enormously exciting time for center-left politics. Today, the Democrats have more ideological influence and control in Washington than they've had since the 1960s. Barack Obama was elected by a larger share of the vote since any president since 1964. And if you look at the 64 election as an anomalous election, it really goes all the way back to FDR and Truman. So these are exciting times for those of us who've been laboring hard and in the weeds to bring about a new and better day for the country. So we've brought together 3 of the smartest people we know, people we've collaborated with and worked with to really reflect on the enormity of the moment and also the opportunities and challenges ahead. So let me do a quick set of introductions. Mike Tomasky, who will be our first speaker, is the editor of Democracy, a journal of ideas, a Washington-based quarterly journal of progressive thought, where ideas are developed and important debates sparked. He's also an editor at large, the American editor at large of The Guardian, on whose website he writes a blog, and he contributes regularly to the New York Review of Books. He's in fact writing a piece now, where he's written on Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John McCain, Al Gore, James Baker, and other subjects. We're a big fan of Democracy. It's a new entrant into the intellectual landscape of center-left politics, and we're really glad, Mike, that you were able to be here today. Next will be Mark Schmitt, who's executive editor of the American Prospect. Mark has been a contributor to the Prospect since 2001 and a columnist for the magazine since 2005, as well as a frequent contributor to TAP, the blog of the American Prospect. He was a senior fellow at the New America Foundation, where he helped to develop a new initiative on the next social contract, a cross-cutting effort to find the underlying principles and policies appropriate to the emerging economy. Is also a veteran of Bill Bradley's Senate office and of the Open Society Institute. Welcome, Mark. And then finally, Frank Foer is here, a very good friend. He and I share one, in addition to being involved in center-left politics, we have one incredible, perhaps debilitating passion, which is soccer, which we get to talk about quite a bit, and we're Barcelona fans. We got a big game today, right? Frank Foer is the editor of The New Republic and an author of the international bestseller, How Soccer Explains the World, An Unlikely Theory of Globalization, which I strongly recommend, by the way, which has been translated into 27 languages from German to Indonesian. Prior to starting at TNR in 2000, he worked for Slate and U.S. News and World Report. His work has also appeared in the New York Times, Atlantic Monthly, and New York Magazine, and he became the editor of The New Republic in March of 2006. Welcome, all three of you. We're just going to go in order, and we'd ask to keep it to 10 to 12 minutes, and we've got time for discussion. So, Mr. Tomasky, take it away.